To refuse, hang up or say thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Did you grow up in Southern
What?
California?
No. I was born in Washington and raised partly in California.
Right.
I escaped my being not raised in California. I was now raised all over the place from that point
Right.
on. I was less than 12 years old and I decided to run away. And the police would bring me back. And I certainly explained to the cops that my daddy got to raping me.
That your dad did what?
He had raped me.
Oh, yeah?
And this was a true statement. And I had decided that if you're just going to take my statement and then beat me on the head with it, why do I trust you? You know? Why am I
so they would bring you back home?
He's going to just do nothing but bring me back to the person who raped me.
Oh.
All right, it's raped him. Here you go. Have another shot.
And so you finally just ran away?
Actually, what I found was a baseball bat being pounded against my ass for telling the cops.
Oh, my God.
So I decided I don't know the meaning of life is what I decided I didn't know.
Right.
I attempted suicide a couple of times, and unfortunately I was caught by a cop.
When you were a kid?
Yeah. And, this is like at age 13. They
Right.
had then decided to put me in a juvenile hall in L.A. County.
Right.
Which I spent some time. I went to Metropolitan State Hospital.
Okay.
After that, and for adolescents, an adolescent program called Butchs.
What is that?
Now, Butchs was an adolescent program for those who have significant problems with their family. Do you know, all the time that I was in juvenile hall at Metropolitan, I was not purposely visited by my family. The psychiatrist asked them to come and join him and I in conversation, in dialogue.
Right.
And so my parents did arrive.
Right.
My grandparents came, but that was different. That was they voluntarily just came. It's not like they had lots of money. They weren't visiting from Culver City, without any problems. It just was a distance,
Right.
Nonetheless, so as far as I could tell, I wasn't really wanted by my mother and my father. My mother had me when she was young, but by way of another man. She had met the man who gave birth to me, if you will.
Okay.
Or something like that. Anyway, and about 9.5, close to 10 months later, I was born. And when I was 18 months old, or if not even a little earlier, but I remember the incident, there was yelling going on in the apartment. And there was blah, 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 and all I knew, the volume was high, and I knew it was supposedly adult people that started to sound like little boys and girls mad at each other. You know that yelling around, blah, 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 blah.
Right, yep, sure.
Loud, yeah. As I tried to be, a good son, but I was in trouble a lot. I guess the rape turned me into something of a trisexual. In those days, it wasn't trisexual as in changing my sex, but I was trying sex.
Right.
So that started getting me in trouble.
And your mother took your father's side on this?
Oh yeah. I have to have been hallucinating.
Oh, wow, okay.
So anyway.
And then when you got out of the institution, when you were 18
this
or whatever.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I was about 15 and a half, close to 16 years old.
Right.
And I left the place when I was an adult. Thank you. I was willing to stay. This is the psychiatrist, Dr. John David Lauren. Okay.
John David.
Later, in the process of doing diagnostics with me, right? he had decided that I would fit the definition under Asperger's syndrome.
Right.
Unfortunately, the Australian that named it Asperger's wasn't sure how to explain the signs and symptoms. And it wasn't until really about 75 and a half, maybe closer to 76, before they actually had a definition for Asperger's syndrome. In the meantime, I'm already diagnosed.
Right.
And I'm thinking that I may have been diagnosed with latent, early onset schizophrenia or something like that. That was just a matter of trying to secure my staying there at all costs paid by the county and state,
right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But dear old Ronald Reagan decided there really should be lots and lots and lots of homeless people living on the streets.
Okay.
I had been for years in an institution for one for another. While I was trying to be good, my dad put me at Mount Lowe Military Academy, and I was something to like effective 13 or something like that.
He put you in a military academy when you were 13?
Yeah, I was in Mount Lowe Military and Naval Academy in Altadena, right. California. Their address is just a hair above the pantry.
Right.
Used to be the pantry. On Mount Lowe Road, in case you ever wanted to see where that was.
Okay.
You can't see it, but somebody else could.
Computers can do wonders now.
Yeah. You could ask Amber to visit the place one day for you.
Okay.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. So anyway, I've been in an institution, because that's what that school was an institution.
Right.
For years.
Right.
So I got very used to institutional work or living.
Okay.
By the way, my grade went from D and F to A and B while I was at Mount Lowe Military Naval Academy. The thing was, yes, it was an institution, but it saw through me and did their training a little differently. Guess who started getting A's?
Nice.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me when I was in college, but not exactly for the same reason. I was doing college,
right?
But I was still wanting to be in control, which basically means I acted out.
In college, right?
Yeah, right. And I was still getting D's, so I went to prison again. Yeah, that was the second time in prison. There was a little drugs in my habit, and if you want to know, it's cocaine. Anyway,
so you got sent for, when you were in college, you got sent to prison for drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was ignored earlier, but here, anyway, so I'm over there, and I do the drugs, and I get busted for it. So
right.
I come home, and I have decided, just prior to coming home, that I'm going to ask Christ to be my Lord and my Savior.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of getting in trouble. I don't mind institutions so much as I really hated being in trouble. I wanted to be known as a good kid. That was not happening. You know, you spend months and close to a year getting raped or suggested that if I do this, I won't get beat. No,
right.
That's still rape. Anyway.
So when you got out, did you go back to college when you got out of prison?
Yes, I did, and I was just about to say that too. When I got out, I decided my friend. Now we have become friends. Dr. Laura and I became friends. I'm now at this point his housemate.
Okay.
Okay. Now what helped it was the fact that he was a gay man, a
right.
gay psychiatrist in a gay world. Well, actually, just becoming an acceptably gay world.
Right.
He's a little ahead of himself, I'm sure. Nonetheless, he suggested that I try a different school, so I did. And I went from that very first semester, I went from a 2.05 GPA, are you ready for this shit?
I'm ready.
End of the semester, 4.0 average.
Wow. Excellent.
I wasn't dumb. I just was not know who to trust, and there was no integrity in the life. I was willing to take responsibility for who I am. I wanted to become better. Imagine that.
Right.
You know?
Nice.
But I did, and for years I'm at school. I'm earning this AA, right?
Right.
And I'm in human development, and I finished my education at Cal State Fullerton with a 3.87 average. Yes, I got a couple B's in my report card.
Nice.
That was a trip. I never had anything below a B, and only a couple of those in my report card. I went to school one day and found out that I was on the honor roll.
Wow. How did you pay for the college? Did you have any scholarship, or did you work? How did you pay for it, the college?
I borrowed money. Some of it was on grants, some of it was on student loans, mainly student loans. And my goal was to get a degree that I could use in drug and alcohol counseling because Dr. Lawrence saved my ass, and he was a psychiatrist. So I wanted to do for people not only the same thing that he did, but I wanted to do it pretty much the same way, with the exception that I knew I could not really do that because he was in medical school, and I was not about to be acceptable. And I didn't have the same kind of drive, I guess, as he did. What matters, though, is I wanted to have a job. It would have paid for my welfare from that point on. You know.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
What type of job did you get when you got out of college? What type of job did you get?
Counseling. I did drug and alcohol counseling, and I did counseling for California Department of Parole.
Okay.
Yeah, that was because you had to do that before you get your certificate. You know, before they certify you that you're worth a damn doing business with.
Right.
Oh shucks!
What happened?
I accidentally banged my knee on the stainless steel stool here.
Oh.
I have to watch the time a little bit, but not much. But it has been a very wild life.
I bet. Now, how is
out?
Right.
Start over. Repeat.
Oh no, I was just going to ask about how it's going in prison now with the treatment. You know, the guards and the gangs and such.
Something has changed in the quality of your communication. It came back. So, what do you mean by dogs?
Guards, like the prison guards and abuse there.
Oh, prison guards. Well, yeah. First off, in the California state prisons, we tend not to have a whole lot of your.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
How many?
60. 1 minute.
Anyway, so the prisons tend not to have too many guards. They have some for drugs and alcohol. And as far as people getting into trouble all the time, that's mainly on them. If the whites do it, then the whites are down for a couple of days.
Right.
It was the blacks, or all that. But
you have 30 seconds remaining.
Are you segregated there between like whites, blacks, Hispanics?
There used to be.
Right.
Inmates, when I arrived to the yard, the inmates make sure I understand that I eat, sleep, and drink whatever with the whites.
Right.
Which is the last thing I wanted to do. I decided right then and there that since I had a black friend, that I was just going to be friendly to the blacks, and they could always. And I got beat up for that one.